really, if I'm really thinking about it, most people, if I'm being real, a part of me, I'll be honest, a little piece of me, which is weird for me, because I'm an offensive, see how this defense pans out. Like I'm really ready to kind of see what that looks like from a fan's standpoint. You you're seeing the game through a different scope. Like, is that DN getting off that? You know what I'm saying? Is he getting off that block? I'm 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 eager to see how our DBs pan out because the coaches are recruiting their ass off. Like, when you go back and you look at the guys that we have, and you look at and break down and film from a defensive back perspective. Time, I'm eager to see how and it's got some length and it's got some size on them. It's gonna be the strength. I mean, the defense period, I think is gonna be amazing. Just I think once they fly around and they hit somebody else, because they've been hitting on each other since spring. But now they get a chance to really just get out there and fly around. And I think once they start feeling it, get a couple big plays, I'm not gonna. Of course, I'm a receivers, but man, I'm eating to see about those defense. Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah, I saw that from Cali. Oh, yeah. Yep. So that's only one more spot left, 104.
Did you take out the one that just went to the portal?
Man, we're gonna play the people out. Oh yeah, you're right. So that's still 103. Yeah. Look, gee, we got a couple. That spot probably already filled. Cookman said they got a quarterback. They said he was at Florida. Man, that's some scrappy players, man. That could go. But like I say, man, I am eager. I'm eager to see what we this defense going.
I'm still
Definitely, definitely.
I'm still wondering about the O line, knowing where we were at last year. Still wondering about the O line.
Yeah.
line. So I'm definitely excited to see. Last week said that he said that Caden was up on the second team. How much the competition?
I don't know what happened to your phone. Or his phone might have died.
I don't know if he got this storm that just came through my way,
Yep.
he may be having internet
Not
problems
necessarily.
too. If he got this storm that just came through my way, he may be having internet problems too.
Working with the second team currently. You know, with the current roster, and I was just saying, so it's them to see in full 12 game season last year, getting that experience. But yet, with the talent and influence that is coming in that position, you know, to hear some of those guys, the competition is all good, right? It's going to make each unit better, and I think that's definitely one area we struggled last year. I mean, watching back the Southern game, watching back that TSU game, you know, that we literally was in third and long all like I don't even I can't even recall any short fields that we had, right? You know, and I mean, that's a position where you know we can run the ball and put ourselves in manageable third and fourth down situations because you know this what I've seen from Coach Jackson in the past is he's very aggressive on fourth down, especially on fourth and short. Um, so I'm interested to see you know from that old line room who's projected to. So I mean, a guy like Jeremy Mawali, I mean, he obviously you know seems like a day one starter. Obviously coming from JUCO as a basically you know all everything in D2. I mean, sorry, not JUCO, but D2. And then you also got Dylan Spencer that started 4 games last year. You game saw what they were able to do on me at least. It's like okay, I can put them in almost right at you know, center and probably your left tackle position. But those two guards and another right tackle, you know, I guess we all gonna find out because I have no idea right now who's winning those battles.
Man, quality depth always gets the job done. You look at those Alabama teams, a lot of those kids that were sitting on the bench that were like the threes and the fives, those guys could went someplace else and started. I think with us, I think coaches brought in some quality depth, you know, at every position. I think that gives us an edge, you know. And up front, you know, we got some guys that we've gotten bigger, and then I can tell you they've gotten stronger too just with some working now. Some guys off the ball, and we saw a little of that um, in the spring. But like I've always said, you know, spring is one thing, and you kind of spring is one of those observation areas to see what you have as a coach. But going to the front up front pieces is key. That's uh, the O line coach up front, and how he's demanding of those guys. So yeah, I wasn't really too much spread. It's an area of concern, but like I said, defense is the defense for me. So y'all don't want to see nothing on offense, no quarterback, nothing. When they show up,
We're gonna let them work out doing that. Let them work out doing.
But when you say offense, I put it this way. Uh, you got off. I'll put it this way. The offensive side of the ball, I think for us, that don't nobody care nothing about nobody else but the quarterback. That's what it is. And for me, I guess why I'm not so the guys that we currently have on staff, all of them being coached up, it just boils down to who wants the job and who earns the job. So it's kind of tricky for me because it's like most people like, hey, I want to see this guy, I want to see that guy. For me, I just want to see the best guy. I'm gonna be excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have had to earn that job and earn that trust from their teammates. So the receivers, of course, like I said, no man, I'm when they show up, I'll be there. That's the approach I'm taking.
I mean, I got a lot of people I'm interested in seeing. I mean, and like I say, up to this point, right? Again, don't mean tomorrow things change, but up to this point, Cam's been the best guy in camp, right? Now I'm interested to see what Tevin Carter looks like. He was highly recruited out of high school, 4-star. He was clearly Tennessee State's next guy up, right? Behind Draylen Ellis. And he also is, I think, being brought over obviously to compete for that position. So I think those two are the two I'm excited to see when we get to fall camp. You know what I mean? To see who wins that job, right? But I mean, right now, like I said, off of what it's going up to this point. That don't mean that tomorrow it's gonna be that way, but it's reality, right? What we saw in the spring game is what we were seeing during the spring practices. What we saw during the spring scrimmages, it was like the offense just flowed better with him. So I don't know if they teaching it better. I don't know if it's coming off. I have no idea, right? You know what I'm saying? But all I know is it's flowing, right? You know what I'm saying? And he getting the ball moving down the field, making right decisions, and not putting the ball in the lead the team. Right? So from a quarterback standpoint, I want to see both of those guys. I mean, Tyler Nelson has looked okay. Blake Murphy has been solid, but not necessarily blowing things out the water. You know what I mean? So a little Carter and Peters is the one I'm looking for. As far as other positions, I mean, obviously, I really want to see my guy Trey Bingman get a full crack at it, right? Obviously, he was last sorry, maybe put me on mute. Last year was like obviously they was red shirting him for the year, so he really didn't get a full swing of things. So I'm interested to see him. I know that OC Buckner knows him very well because he's good. He knows the skill set, etc. So I'm super excited to see that. But I'm also excited to see. I mean, just you got Brandon Campbell coming over. I mean, even the running back from just coming over from Oregon, though he wasn't super highly recruited out of high school. Well, I think it's interesting to see a guy like that come over from a program like that and see what he can add to the room. So I'm excited for that room. And then receiver wise, I think Jacoby and Korea Powell are the two that I think we're gonna be solid with Fitzgerald. I think Andre Dennis is gonna be real solid for us. So those two I feel like off top are gonna be solid, right? And like a good solid 1-2 options. You got a lot of other receivers that kind of like, man, who's the next guy to rise to the top? But Jacoby Jones, I'm super excited for them too because I think kick return guys, I think we're gonna see a lot of them there. I think we also both of those guys have been used in the run game and in the pass game. So I'm interested to see how they use them in some different formations and stuff like that. So yeah, I think those are a couple guys that stand out for me on the offensive side of things. And then the tight end definitely 6'6" tight end Trevon Jones. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see. I've seen him in the spring game. They had him split out wide too, right? Like they had him in the slot as well as kind of in that tight formation. So I'm interested to see kind of what kind of matchups we can get, especially the red zone. Using him against maybe a slot corner or something like that. So yeah, those are a couple guys for me that stand out and I'm excited about from the offensive side of things, right? So we talk offense.
Receiver wise, I want to see how that kid is from Memphis. The kid that transferred over from Memphis. I like to see how explosive he is.
Yeah, that's Jacoby Jones. I mean, that's Jacoby Banks. Sorry, he came out of Fort Bend Marshall. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him, and I want to see tight end. Like just like I said, the wide receiver room, like we can go on and on with names, but no, man. And it's just, I think we got so many guys, some new guys in. They came in, and I think with having them in, it's just, the camaraderie with who the quarterback is, how are they going, how's that relationship going to pan out? Who's the guy that he's going to go to on third down that can get open, who he knows is always open. Because every relationship is different with the quarterback. So, to, like I say, I'm just kind of want to wait and see who's going to kind of be that guy. Because, if you go back and look at the history of our teams, you go back and look at the receivers, who are those guys in that supporting cast, how they gel together. So I think with the type of system that we're running, I think guys are going to be able to have the opportunity to, kind of make a name for themselves based on their productivity.
I wonder how that QB room is going to come out after they choose who's one and who's two, because you got a lot of guys in there. Will they create any problems?
Go ahead, Linus. Go ahead.
What'd you say, Boom? It kind of went.
Well, I was talking about how that quarterback room's going. Are they going to gel and support basically who gets the number one spot, and then who's going to be number two? Will those rest of those guys support them and don't give them any problems?
Yeah, I mean, home is gonna be the guy that the team is willing to follow and who isn't gonna turn the ball over, right? So, um, I think by the time that decision is made in the fall, um, it's gonna be a pretty solid decision. One thing I like about the staff too is they're gonna be decisive. I feel like that indecisiveness last year had a big effect on the whole team in general, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Um,
yeah, we know where the fight
and
was.
even the week of the Labor Day Classic, yeah, you can tell that Bubba was not really comfortable with like saying that Lucas was the starter, right? You can kind of tell he's still kind of fidgety about that, right? So to me, I'm just happy that we got a staff that's gonna make a decision to stand. So, yeah, see, like if you felt that way, why put him out there? I don't.
You get by the quarterback. That's the thing. Like most people, when people look at it like, hey, we got this guy, we want to name this starter. Like a lot of time it boils down to like that kind of that last couple weeks over. So sometimes it's not always cut and dry because you have a guy that he's been balling like the whole camp. So sometimes it's not always cut and dry. Yeah, but it's trend in the opposite direction. And then there were drops that guys easy drops. I mean, like goes in there behind the scenes that a lot of people don't get a chance to see. But people get their updates. But even with the guys knew who the better quarterback was. You know what I'm saying? Like the players, we knew the receivers. Like okay, we got such and such. We feel from the players as well. Because are you gonna die for that ball when KJ throw you that ball, or you just gonna kind of let it go?
Yeah, I see. That's what the coaches do, right? Like if you know who the guy is, you need to just make a decision on the guy, right? That's my biggest thing. Okay, so then just make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Right? Um, I don't know any team that's just gonna be good if you kind of going back and forth on who you feel the quarterback is. Like same thing Alabama A&M we've seen the last couple of years of Manning, right? So my thing, even if you make a decision, it's not the right decision. You need to make a solid decision and stick by your decision. You know what I mean? Like you don't mean that 4 games into the season, 5 games into the season, you say, you know what? I think we're gonna go in a different direction to the season. Like that Bubba wasn't comfortable with kind of decision that was made. I mean, I just feel like it was set up for failure. You know what I mean? Man, I feel like you the head coach. Your job, I granted he did get hurt, but then when he did win, he didn't play so well against Grambling. I don't know. Like if obviously the gap was not wide at all. So I think that they should have just made a firm for the season and not just go with Lucas Cole because he was the main. You know what I'm saying?
Come in. That's why that depth is. I'm confident in the staff that we have that they're gonna make the right decision. So I'm confident, and you can see the fruit of it early. And just like different. How y'all feel about this new scoreboard?
I got to see it first. I just think that it's not going to be all that we think it's going to be.
You said he got to he said he got to see it.
I mean, it's got to be better than what we had. Like, I mean, I'm appreciative of what we had. Is spring was a little small.
Well, it's all good. Damn, top of school the last 2 years.
And they did have it running during that camp.
So it is an all digital scoreboard. That's what I was told. That was all digital. Yes, all digital scoreboard.
Wish it was going to be bigger.
Game at the end of it. As long as it's got us winning at the end of it on it, I'm good.
Well, I think what it does is also gives us more space to do like advertisement. It allows us to basically to be able to use it for all the some type of stuff. So we can change like the bottom just the scores and stuff. Like with all digital, where if it's not a game going on or something, like you can have that off the screen and use that part of the display for something different. You know what I mean? So I think that's the benefit of it overall.
And they must going to be trading what's in there. And just remember when we asked Golf about moving that one to the soccer, and he said no.
because I know we talk in a group and stuff a lot of times, right? About different stuff. But you know, they would kind of press them on like, hey, what if you don't have the success in year one, right? Yeah, yeah. If y'all, what if y'all don't have the success in year one that you talk, and he's basically like, well, one anyway, right? That's normal, right? That's what you're used to. And so what's different with the mate, basically. And then, but then he was like, but you know, when I say talk about winning celebration bowl, which we will, you know, so he kind of like doubled down. All right, again, man, how really do you think year one is it for us to win? You can't put that much in your mouth. For us to win the SWAC West, how realistic do you think is it for us to win the SWAC, and how realistic is it for us to win Celebration Bowl? Like, and you can put a percentage on it, like for each, but how realistic is it? Yeah, I swear to God, I was just gonna ask y'all what that same question, and I'm gonna think about that.
100%. Y'all got my answer. I'm going on record. Brandon J. Bell, football alumni, number 80. SWAC champion is, I'm saying, you're supposed to do, you can win. It ain't physical. You go out there, run the ball, be physical. Like our coaching staff, we're gonna win some games that people don't believe we're going to win just because of our coaching staff and the adjustments. We're gonna have the talent, but you can have the. We've seen bigger schools that have the talent, but just they can't. They people can call it what they want, cocky or whatever they want, but, you know. And we can see that you can't fake it.
Yeah, so you saying it's 100%? What about Celebration Bowl?
I think so too. I think when we get close, I think we can win it. Like I said, who would ever thought? Um, who was it that year? Who was that year that beat Jackson?
The same thing.
Everybody.
Oh no, you said when they dropped the pass, right? That was North Carolina Central. I think they
North Carolina Central won. They had everything they needed to win that game.
No, I'm feeding my daughter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it just was. We can look on paper and say should Jackson State have got in the favor of North Carolina Central, because North Carolina Central, they played their ass, or they played hard. So it's not that we're in a conference. It's not like we're in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Where you paying for the experience? I think that's been at different levels for us to be competitive under numbers. The is I think, like I said, I stand by that. I think we're gonna beat Rice, to be honest.
Rice is
You know,
going to be an unknown,
I
but
think winning.
but we'll see how they come out because they play U of H the previous week.
I don't think winning it. I think it'll be a little bit harder as we go. So like Rice, a little bit harder. Winning the West, then championship. So I don't know the percentages. I was trying to hear a lot of other people saying on the show, questioning his cockiness and how how he coming in talking like he gonna win something when he ain't won nothing, blah 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 this and that. So that does give me a little pause. Then Bub was saying, and the whole. You gotta give a percentage though. I need a percentage though.
Okay,
I'm asking for each level. I'm asking Swag West, Swag Championship, and Silver. Me? The 100. All right.
SWAC West, 100%.
So you at 100. What are you at?
I'm gonna say winning the SWAC.
Hey. Stop.
Winning the SWAC, the Celebration Bowl, probably about 75.
Yeah, I don't think we.
I mean, we basing all this off of theory. So, like, once I see them play, if they're physical enough that I feel like they're physical enough, so if we play a South Carolina State or North Carolina Central, so, those two, I see them play physical and consistently be physical, then my percentages go up. But in the SWAC, man, we can get by. And then we get against a physical team, i.e., FAMU a couple years ago in the SWAC championship, and we can't really do too much. So I think I gotta see them first. But I mean, I like to talk. I like the confidence. I like the swag. I think that's what our fan base and
Hey guys, what's going on? How y'all doing tonight?
Fine.
Pick up Prairie Bowl.
Yes, exactly.
I'm asking for me. Exactly. For me, I'm really confident. I think the defense is going to be outstanding, and I think offensively, I think we're going to figure it out. Like I said, it's just so much continuity that's going to be happening coming out the gate. But I think our defense is going to carry us. But I don't think we're going to have any problems getting out of the West. Everybody said Jackson is a team to beat. I don't know that to say one way or another. I know they have a lot of personnel, but I think they're more scared of us than anything. I think everybody's picking the other teams in the West ahead of us just out of fear of what they think. If we get there, I think we'll win it. And as far as getting to the celebration bowl, shoot, if you get there, well, why can't you win it? Well, I feel confident as hell. I'm hoping, like I said, we get out offensively. Like I said, that's my only concern. I really don't know. I'm thinking Cam's probably going to get the start at the first knack at quarterback. That's what I'm feeling based off of what I saw in the spring game. But I'm really confident. Like I said, as far as his bravado, he really believes it. And if he believes it, trust me, the players definitely gonna believe it. You know. So I think, man, like I said, it's just so new. People just not used to Prairie having that kind of bravado and swag that they like. And they can't fathom that we aren't that anymore. And so I think he's walking with a big stick. I'm confident. Shoot, I think we're gonna do big things this year, man.
Playing like it would be some of the same sentiments as far as Frazier confidence. Like I said, we live in a different time now where social media is right in your face. You have access to stuff right away. You had to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to wait on the score to see what the situation was. Now everything is so, right now. But I think the confidence level because we see how he excited about it. You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta be able to have that. And I'm gonna tell you, Jackson State. The reason why I think B put it out, they said that year was a 2000. Beat Jackson State. That was my freshman year. We beat Jackson State. Jackson State ain't put us on the schedule maybe one more time. That may have been like my junior year or it may have been senior year. But they ain't want to play us no more after that. Like that's the thing. When you start moving people behind on a consistent basis, like they understand what the situation is. It's one of those things where it's like, damn, we hope they just don't catch they stride. You know what I'm saying? It's like riding your bike and then you get close to the house and your chain fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like you ride you ride the bike again, you get close to home, then that chain fall off. That's where I see us. It's like we can't just stay in there on a consistent basis where we just whipping everybody's ass. Like the longest streak family for like 5 to 7 years in a row, and then we turn around and we do the same thing for Texas Southern, but we lose the Valley 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing he's gonna bring. We're not gonna lose those games under him. We're not going to sleepwalk and have trap games. He's just not gonna allow that to happen. And he said something on the show the other day. He said people may call me arrogant or loser because wherever I go, we win. And that's the bro. He wins everywhere with little to no resources. And pretty much they giving this guy everything and more. So, like I said, he don't know how to lose, man. So that's what gives me the most confidence out of anything. that he is a winner, man.
Lionel, them people know what the deal is. They just ain't gonna come out and say it. Like they are itching. They wait. They are every week. Somebody gonna have a rabbit foot. Somebody gonna have a voodoo doll. Somebody gonna have some bones and some rocks somewhere, hoping and praying that we lose, just so they can try to make fun and poke fun at coach for him being confident. Some of them at the press conference a little bit more, had a little bit more swag about themselves after they got that win. But we got a coach that has expectations and going into it that way with he does everything that he said. Look, I'm good with it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Like I said, it's that dead period in sports right now where you have nothing to watch. So I'm looking forward to to them getting in the camp, and everybody's looking for their first loss. But even if we get tripped up, I still feel like we're gonna win the West. If we get tripped up early, because I expect Texas Southern game to be a tough game. Like I said, the only thing that concerns me is just continuity early on. We got so many moving parts. We got a whole new receiving core. Offensive line has to gel. We're installing a new offense. I have no doubts that the defense is going to be much improved over what we've seen in the past. And just the discipline, man. We lost games. We're giving up. We averaged almost 100 yards and penalties a game last year, man. That was incredible. You can't win games like that. I don't expect any of that stuff to happen. So with that alone, we're going to have a chance to win ball games. So, like I said, I'm confident, man. I feel really, really, really good about our situation.
Y'all so cute. I say, what? Me and my son, she's like, no, y'all so. She's like, y'all been optimistic about y'all season. You see what I got to deal with?
Where she go to school?
In-laws went to Grambling.
Well, like I said, bro, they all scared, bro.
she know what the deal is.
Yeah, they scared, man. Like I said, they talking and hoping, but they really scared. They should be. Right now, like I said, we walking with a big stick, man, and this dude coming to back it up.
Lionel, what's your percentage?
Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to feed baby. But percentage wise, I mean, West, honestly, that's 100% because, like I tell everybody on the shows I go on, we not if he can't win the West, there's no point in him being here, right? Because it's like it's like the same thing he was saying on the show, right? It's like the expectations need to be elevated, right? To where it's like, yeah, you got a coach that's either 6-6, that's hey, we can't have the expectation himself, right? But to me, it's like the West is like, listen, that's something that should always be done. Like, it's not even a question. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's like completely 100%, right? We get to the SWAC championship, I think we have a legitimate shot to win it, getting there, right? It's one game, who plays the best game, right? Who can establish the trenches, etc., right? So I'll probably say I would give us a 80%, 75%, right? Confidence meter in my mind, right, of winning SWAC championship. And Celebration Bowl wise, if we get there, I mean, if we win the SWAC championship, the Celebration Bowl, my percentage will go back up. Like, cause we get out of the SWAC championship and get the Celebration Bowl, then it's almost like, listen, I'm almost at I wouldn't say 100, probably 90, 95%, depending on the team that we playing. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely will go back up for sure. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the bigger hump to get over is actually the SWAC championship to me than even the Celebration Bowl. I feel like that momentum after getting past SWAC would be nothing. But when I look at, and my reasoning is this: when I look back at last year, and every year is new. You know what I mean? It's not like perfect 1-to-1. You know what I'm saying? But when I go back to look at last year, those games, and it wasn't like we lost those games for reasons that to me T-Jack is gonna solve. Like we averaged less than 3 yards a carry in both the Southern and the Texas Southern game. To me, that's crazy. Like 54 carries, 119 yards against Southern. We the whole can't imagine. And maybe we got to put things together as far as like the passing game. Maybe we got protection man a yard or two off his line. That's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? That's straightforward. So we literally are, it's not smoking a cloud of dust, right? Of 2 yards a carry, right? I think we can do that. You know what I'm saying? I think we can actually go into games and at least average 4 yards a carry, right? You know what I'm saying? So if we can simply do that, it changes the trajectory of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because now we ain't got to be in third and long. Now we got some third downs. We can actually run the ball for a first down, right? Instead of having whoever the quarterback is drop back. You know what I'm saying? When I see what happened and what we did last year and why we lost 7 games, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? And then the penalties, you know what I mean? When I looked at some of the games with the penalties we had, we had, so, that's my reason. That's why my percentages are what they are. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, those penalties was atrocious. It's crazy. The penalties we're getting.
It's way more from winning the West this first year. We should have won. We lost the Valley, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. West his second year, he won the West, and last year Coach Graves won the West in his first year as a head coach. So you can't tell me that the done is crazy in our big mind.
It's a discipline that lost us that game, that Valley game, that one game away. It's been discipline issues for us. You know, I like to say everything you said. 100%. I think the man. That's the thing. It's no. Let me guess. Like everything is methodical. It's thought out. I'm paying attention just as well as anybody else. But it's not one of those things where it's like, I guess for me, I'm not worth. You know, in the past, y'all know me. I'm in anything, or not where I am, where I'm like, damn. I wonder what we're gonna do. Or I'm nervous about the season, like I have been the last couple of years, because you have somebody that's proven, and we've seen what just a little bit of it looks like during the spring, and I was happy and I was impressed about it. I mean, discipline. I mean, the way they move. Peter, the P guys, and I think they understand what's at stake as well.
Agree, man. If you guys looked at the schedule, the way it's way as of what games do you think we can that can be problems for us early on, especially from I do think the defense is going to start fast. You know what I mean? But from the offensive standpoint of how quickly those guys gonna be able to. So that's why I think that TSU game is one. But like I say, that's why I think it's important for us to know. It's a good thing for us to know that Coach Carson, right, with the offensive line, and from what Coach T-Jack has done in the past, we're going to be able to run the ball, right? And so even from a standpoint of settling down from a pass game standpoint, being able to run the ball is going to help not run the ball at all whatsoever. I don't think y'all. I don't think we just like even less than what we think in our mind. We just wasn't able to run the ball, right? And not only was we not able to run the ball, we also kind of abandoned running the ball in a sense too. And I think also, and I even though I think it's going to be a good test, to start off because it's just a lot of unknowns. I'm not as, I'm not as. KJ Cooper hasn't won me over. I say it like that, right? I think it's cool. It's not. Like they got to figure things out. That's great for them. I'm happy. Clap it up. But I would, when watching the game back, he really didn't do nothing special. He really didn't do anything that's just like, okay, I see why, TSU made this guy the guy, right? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that he isn't able to kind of keep them moving, right? Probably be able to do that a lot better than the red shirt from that, right? Even watching the game last year, I mean, there was definitely a opportunity we had to take the ball away from. We just put the ball on the ground, right? So, I'm not sold on him yet, right? So I think we're gonna still win that game, but I do think it's gonna be challenging. Just ball on the ground, right? So that's off the strength of I think I'm not sold on him. We're gonna. It's gonna be the first real time we got a chance to go against another team except our defense, right? But other than that, I don't really Northwest and CRGB, I think those games are pretty straightforward as far as those programs are right now. And then, obviously Rice is a FBS step up, right? But from an importance standpoint and from a real challenge that is very meaningful, I think is really that TSU.
I agree with you on that.
I'll say TSU because it's the first conference game. Like we automatically start our season out with a conference game, and it means the most because it can put you ahead or it can put you behind. Like I did that of others to kind of get through, but we start our game out where it means something. I mean, every game means something, but like we start out one like one of those. That's the game you have to win. Because it makes a difference. Just because where they are, but it's just interesting to see what the matchup will be like. One had the long snap the ball over the boy head twice. Like that game was warm, you know. Uh, but like I said, yeah, I think that game's going like, hey, listen, we coming in, we coming in, and put us on there, no matter what the atmosphere is like. Those are the three games I penciled in. I didn't even pencil in Grambling, but I would say Texas Southern. I say Rice just because to see what that matchup is going to be like and see the mindset, what it would look like for us to win that game, how our kids approach it, and going into a hostile environment on their homecoming and winning that game. I mean, we've done it before, so it's not like we can't do it.
So I don't know, Mr. Dingman. I don't know if you for me is on an offensive side of all. I mean, I don't know if you can share maybe how you feel like how quick or how slow they may be able to get up and running. Because I saw you in the comment section, or in the listener section. I don't know if you want to share your thoughts on that question.
Did you say you were going to that Southern game or no? While I'm on the subject of that.
So what now?
Did you say you were going to that Southern game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm making provisions to get to that game. That's the game, sir. Our favorite.
Yeah, I definitely have that game circled on my calendar. I'm gonna be there. I'm looking forward to that game. I don't have a Southern game circled on anything. They're gonna be done by the time that game comes up. That's gonna be Basically, that's gonna be the nail in the coffin. So that game's done.
Man, we ain't gonna be able to make it out of Baton Rouge after that game, boy.
I was at the last game we played. Kobe Lewis's dad sitting in the middle of the southern section in their prime seats, and we gave them the blues, bro. They were so sick, man. They walked up to me after the game, talking about, y'all need to take Dooley back with y'all on the bus. I said, nah, y'all, no, we don't want him back.
Y'all wanted him that damn bad. Y'all know what time it was.
It was fun beating those guys. What's even crazier is he reapplied for the TV job. So we already got where we stand, the golf course I'm going to the day before the game.
I might have to get in there early. I just be getting back from California for taking the fam to Disney World. So we can go ahead and put it on my schedule now for my vacation time, so I a Southern grad. So, but man, that is a. I mean, I went for Prairie this year on Saturday. That's what set the tone for them. So that may have been a mistake in the morning. But man, that's gonna be a good atmosphere. Is it a night game?
Yeah, I want to say I think it's 7.
Yeah, I think it's a 6 o'clock kickoff.
Don't use them fancy lights.
Now, I will give him that. Yeah. Talked about the offense. Who y'all got on the defense that kind of stands up that y'all want to see too?
All of them. I can't. That's one of them can go. That's the thing. I want to see, like, bro, do y'all realize how many touchdowns we gave up just because, or yardage we gave up just by, like, pass interference after pass interference? It's a personal foul just because of school. We missing overtime. Like, we got that can come up and can hit, and we sit there and watch their film. Like,
well, it's going to be so difficult for these guys, man. The depth that he's established at every position. Just the camp battles are going to be so interesting, man. You know, you got guys who've been starters everywhere they went, man. And now they got to come and compete for just to get in the rotation. That's the amazing thing about the depth that he's, you know, you can pencil, you kind of have an idea. Honestly, I don't even think they know who's going to start, man. I think it's going to be camp battles that's going to stop it.
That's where you win your job at, man. I know when I played for Prairie, I tell people and our other groups that we talk about, like, for areas and camp, everybody understands, hey, I need to make several plays on a consistent basis in order for me to even get a look or to be confused, because you like, damn, like, I just need to make a couple more plays, a little burn, but like I tell people all the time, that championship team, like that team right there, like we competed in everything, like video games, sports was playing, and running every single thing that we did, and we carried it over through everything that we did in the room. That's why I say everybody had a job. Everybody knew what their responsibility was, and it just brought out the best in everybody. When he was coming, you had that relationship, throughout camp and at competition, so you know who was able to do what. So, like I said, man, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's the part I'm excited about, like not knowing who's going to win. Oh, we got a bunch of dogs.
That room is gonna be the most improved by far. I just think it's gonna be another level. And I honestly, I really, just seeing the pieces that he's putting together, it's gonna be real. It's gonna create a lot more turnovers than we have in the past few years. I think we averaged 21 points last year, 19 points in conference game. We're not gonna win a lot of games if we only average 19 points in conference games. But I think that's gonna change also from the standpoint of our defense is gonna help us out a lot. Right? I think they're going to turn is gonna help save that safety room for those. And I know with this style of defense, it's right. They play with those three safeties and with that jet safety on the field. Who kind of wins though, etc. But it's gonna be interesting to see who kind of wins out those starter positions and wins those reps. And I'm really interested in seeing Eric Zachary, man. Like even with the DBs that they brought in to play out wide, man, he just has such a natural position. You know what I mean? It's your gloves, bro. He is going to bring in a lot of interceptions. He's always in the right place at the right time. True sophomore, right? I think this year he's gonna jump off the scene. But man, he just got to pull in some of those. I think his skill set is just already there. So he's really probably out of all the guys, and a lot of graduate guys, a lot of guys put him that's elsewhere. It's because he's that young guy, you know. I guess one position. How do you guys feel about that? So from what I'm understanding, based on Anderson, and then also even looking at kind of what they've done in the past of all the roster, they're not heavy on edge rushes in this defensive scheme. And I'm gonna do something on that right edge rush position because they're gonna be using a lot of
of those linebackers as that fourth rusher, right? So they're gonna bring. You're not gonna know where that guy's gonna come from, right? You know what I'm saying? Whether he's gonna come from that mic position or sound position or whatever, like they're gonna bring it from different places. But they are gonna be bringing a fourth guy, right? It's gonna be the linebacker. You know what I mean? In that position, they will use from time to time. It really will be a linebacker that they walk up there. You know, again, right, to be that fourth rusher. So now just Darren Vasquez, we talked about him. You know, he transferred out because those guys that's kind of the role that they were looking to play. But they're really not using those type of guys in this team.
They hybrid guys. Lionel. On some of them, I call them hybrid guys. Yeah, a guy that's like a roller, that can tackle and space some of those DBs. You can look at them; they're a whole lot bigger than we had before, and they playing closer around that box. So you got guys that can get off those, to be able to help fill that gap and play fast.
Guys that kind of in that role between a linebacker, safety, or edge rusher, linebacker, right? Like that.
Just have quite the ball. That's what I'm looking for, man.
I think that's gonna be the thing. I think we're gonna leave swag and turnovers. So I thought then we got any penetration from the D line, and when we did have an opportunity to make a play, like you said, they dropped down on a penalty. Like that problem this year. So I think the opportunities we have to create turnovers, we're going to take advantage of them. It's going to make.
You said a mouthful. Those takeaways right there, those takeaways that we're going to need. Position is a big, and take some pressure off our offense. I think that's going to be special.
Yeah, absolutely. Those that don't know me, my name is Prairie Washington. I'm a Eagle alum from class of 24. I've been on Lionel. The issue last year with our defense was the discipline, the lack of discipline on the back end. Big play, and then defense will come around and come up with a stupid penalty or unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that. I just seen the way they react to it. The coach that's going to help us in the long run for sure. I put them on it. the Northwestern State game last year, man, I really readily turning my turning my fan. I was so disappointed and so upset about how disciplined that team was, man. We actually should have won that game by 3 touchdowns, man. And we just kept giving up big plays and getting penalties, man, to have them move the chain. And then it was a night not to take anything away from Pine Bluff because that quarterback and the receiver, they really just ate us up. They ate us apart. They were for real. So, so even when we were in position to make a play, they just made bigger plays. So, but the penalties and the receivers get behind us, even when we that things are the things that I'm most excited about because they won't happen anymore. That's not going to happen next year. This year, yeah. With that being said, our defense is probably going to give up. I won't be surprised if we give up more than 15 points a game this year.
The Jets and the coaching, and the other thing, I don't know if I said out there we're not really paying attention to is just the adjustments. Like we didn't make good adjustments last year. Like we have a staff that has some continuity that understands how to make adjustments, like on the fly. And because I looked at some of those Valdosta State games, and you can look at did they make one or did they not make one? Just because they're on the same page, and those little things right there come out or you get blown out. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually want to bring up a question to y'all about what y'all think about this Sports podcast about 3 days ago until you'll see him when we play TSU. So what y'all think about this TV room and thinking about like who y'all think will ultimately get the starting job, to lead this offense into next season?
Well, I'm not surprised that he's not going to reveal who the quarterback is. That was not surprising to me. I do think they have an idea of who they want to go with. It's going to be a competition. Between maybe 2 or 3 guys. But I think there's a leader in the clubhouse, and like I said, he said the team is going to pick who they want to play for. And honestly, it's going to be a battle throughout camp. I think Cam is going to probably get the start.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear from the spring game right now who's the front runner. Right. And then I think you bring in a guy like Tevin, who was projected to be Tennessee State position there, right? You know what I'm saying? And so but I mean, at the end of the day, it's most people from the spring game, but like I said, right, for me, not only spring game, but spring practices. You know what I'm saying, right? And seeing just like the DB position, just like the wide receiver position, just like the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing.
Crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that on one of our rosters. So yeah,
And I also thought it was kind of underrated, but I really like. I think that's definitely going to help out on the revenue aspect, the operations aspect on game days, like that. I think that's a underrated move. I actually looked it up and I looked at the schools on there. We were the only HBCU on there, which I think was a smart move by Anton. Generating the maximum amount of revenue for the team. And I think that also the unlimited number of scholarships, which I was thinking about pushing.
I don't think we're gonna see no returns on that till next season.
Boom, something happened.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe my audio. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying that about that agreement with Tamar. I think we're not going to see no real returns on that till next season. Looking at they're starting so late. We know where we're at with returning season ticket holders, but the key to it is getting new season ticket holders to buy in, and then just getting those regular season games in.
That makes sense. I first I'm like, no, but it makes sense because with the current that was sickness, I think SP. I never said I would hope we would see some now. I want to say we are close to the season, but I think there's still room. I think the other side of it is
I say
You know, to make it with everything on.
Yeah, I feel you. I just think it's that way, but I just think that I like seeing them trying to take a new step and trying to maximize the revenue. And I think one of the things I know we're trying to increase attendance on, in football, but I think when I was at school, like that's a ball attendance. We definitely can improve on as well. Just getting the overall attendance on different events and stuff like that. And I actually was on an athletic team that's like being an early private citizen. Things like that. But like it does help. Like when you see players the extra set of confidence and give you that actual home type feeling. And that's important. I do hope that he plays and what Anton is doing, especially with the basketball, we'll get on that end as well. Let's see what he does with the baseball. I think we're in the right direction. So I think if there's ever time to be athletic, something like that, time of it right now.
And then I say never close off season tickets. If you got seats available, someone want to buy in the middle of the season, sell it to them.
I agree, boom. I was good. You got off of here. I invited him to speak right then and there. That makes it. You know what, man? They gonna give it to you. Like, Carolina was debating about homecoming. Like, you can't not, you know, turn down money. You can't turn down money when it's there. So I would say they right up into that first home game. You know, even the Labor Day. Well, that's too close. I think because that money does other things. But hold on. Okay. In the weight room. What are your thoughts in everything that you've heard so far? What is your now that you have a different insight? What are your thoughts?
Right. I think, to be honest, I think you guys are. It's, if you're not in the SWAC championship, it's a lose. I you don't play nobody. Like, let's just give it a buck. Like, you don't really play nobody. So like, this is a perfect year for Tremaine to start a kind of like a wave of excitement, a wave of like of energy to really build on top of what he wants TV to be. I think I think it's like championship or bust. If I'm being honest. I mean, like, if he just took half the team from Valdosta State, he'd be in the pit. He'll be in the flag championship. So you should be wrong to get out of it. I mean, I think you have to lose a lot of games before people get put in there with your schedule. If that makes sense.
So let me ask you opinion when you say our schedule, the way it's laid out. Who do you feel for our schedule to be? What do you feel, or who do you think should be on our schedule so that it can be a schedule that people say, okay, they actually play?
You have to play that. Like, you just have to. Jackson, I don't think y'all play family series or do you though?
No, we don't play fam. That's based upon, but that's not on us. That's a conference deal.
Yeah, so it's like those one or two out of conference things. I get it. I mean, listen, I understand how the story goes because Dooley fell into the same trap, that one year that he got the Southern deal. You know what I'm saying? So you guys had that easy schedule that you went through as well. I mean, who do y'all? I think do y'all even play Alabama? And I'm not really. I think A&M is 1 year away. I think you played them year two. I think it'll be a good game, but I think A&M is a year away. Alabama State's gonna be a good game. I think that'll probably be the best game on the schedule. I don't think Southern is. I think Southern is trained right, and I don't care what nobody says about last year. That had to be the spookiest stuff I've ever seen in my life when it comes to Southern. And I think think Grambling is a solid team that doesn't have that really doesn't have any leadership when it comes to like players leading that team and players you can count on to really take you over the top. I think Mickey Joseph is a great recruiter, but I don't think he's a great coach. What's her name? I just really am. I think what he did at Valdosta, if he brings that's how bad the SWAC is just overall. And I think that's how much it benefits y'all because the West is really, really bad. Like keep it a buck, the West is bad. All corners is bad, Southern is bad, Grambling is bad. Like, come on, man. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Things are bad. And I don't man, Southern looks really good. And the only team that I actually do like is I like TSU. I really do. I like their team. I like the quarterback if he stays healthy. I like their playmakers. Like I think they're why got that victory, but I think that things go the way I think they should go, where it should be either you or Bam or you or Jackson or you or Alabama State in the SWAC championship. Year 2 for PD, that's scary. That's the year. That to me, like that's the year. If you go to the SWAC championship year 1, year 2 for today, after doing what he did this year in recruiting, oh my God, that's gonna we could go to the SWAC championship if you still don't believe in what they're doing, right? Like it's just like he didn't have the energy to really keep that buzzing. Tremaine got all the energy you need. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have the promos. He's gonna have the and if you win the SWAC championship and you end up in Atlanta, oh my God, like that year 2 is gonna be epic. Year 2 is gonna be epic. So that's why I say I really wish Tremaine did not go to PD because I think the bigger brands deserve a coach like that. I don't think your fan base deserves kind of all worked out in the end because Texas, but the school that he's at, I don't think you guys will and the excitement like if he was at a Jackson or if he was at a Southern, if he was at an Alabama State, even if he was at an Alabama, you know, that's actually He said some mess up about us, all the stuff you talked about us. No, I mean, I'm not. I think it's listen, I would call it spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had a bad coach, again, I don't. Again, it all comes down to who stepped up at court. You know what I'm saying? He good at that. Oh, you see, we got this guy. We see, we got this, and they all are trash, right? So seeing who the quarterback is at TD is the biggest thing for me. And I think that's why that Rice game is so important because I think the TSU game is just a battle of just adjustment, right? Just a battle of adjustment. Hey, they do this, we're going to do this. I think that's going to be a battle of adjustment. Rice is where you see can we hold up in the trenches? Can we line up in talent wise be decent? Because again, if you're competitive in that game, you should be competitive all season. Period. So we do have a very going against a team like Rice, right? Who, you know, in the Conference USA and things of that nature. And you know, that would probably be like, you know what, we probably have a legit team. But yeah, I mean, we do got the best shot this year, and I hope we do. And if we do go to the SWAC championship and we win it, you gotta wear a PT shirt, bro. You got to.
I put it this way. I put it this way. As a former player and being in there, and I say this, and some people give a damn if it's 10,000 in the stands. You gotta line that shit down and play. I know a lot of people give us flack about, you know, your fan base and all that stuff like that. But when you look at those universities that you named, they're in a major city someplace. And then outside of that, our numbers are what they are. We have a decent attendance for what we are. But I think outside of that, I think people use that, in my opinion, people use that and say, okay, well, we can't, he should go there because he don't have a family. But football is football. When we didn't have a stadium, boils down to you playing. And I think overall with the things that the AD has in place, that golf, I think winning would cure because you have some people that got disbanded and they came back, no scholarships, and like those are the things that people don't know that we talk about. But I think whoever applied on that list, they know it's a place for them to be, for them to get an opportunity to win. I think it just boils down to us just doing what you're supposed to do to win. Because people forget the days when Cummings was there, and they did wrong by Cummings, and they were getting head bashed. Nobody talks about that.
Listen, at the end of the day, hey, Al Green, Lord Jesus, Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what fan base he has or what you don't have, or the 12 fans show up, if they don't show up. If Jermaine Jackson wins, it's just great for TV. It's great for the Slack, right? It adds parity. That's all the Slack needs at this point. It needs parity to where it's like, hey, when you go on a Slack Media Day, it ain't Cavs versus the Warriors every single year. You know what I'm saying? It needs parity. Because you know what that makes everybody else do? Makes everybody else to think it up. Right? Grambling got to fire that guy again. Get somebody who's better. Southern got to fire that whale and get somebody who's better. Right? So you got to offer, right? So again, I love the Tremaine Jackson hire. You just need competent coaches for God. And I just, when I hear him talking and he having a conversation with him, I just love his mindset. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I just love his mindset. I love how he, I just wish, like, again, I just wish to win that PD. I'm like, God, but, hey, I hope, listen.
I'm going to cut you off there now. Now, hold on now. All right, now, hold on now. You're going to pump them brakes. Now, he went. And this is the thing. We have everything that we need to do what we need to do. And it's going to get done. So, but I digress.
At the end of the day, I think Lionel was just a year early on the trip. I'm going to say that.
Not a year early. Not a year early. Definitely not early. I was right on time.
You was a year early.
No. I was right on time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand it. It's bigger than the result. It's always been bigger than the result. You know? So at the end of the day, listen, it don't really matter. I will have a question too, actually, from what you said, but first, I think it doesn't matter what people deserve. I think all of us will look and say, well, I deserve this, I deserve that. It don't matter what you deserve, it matters what you're willing to go out and get. Make the plan big. Family won for a lot of years. PB win, and like I said the other day, if PB goes on a 10-year run where they win 5 Celebration Bowls and 6 WAC championships, PB will be a big brand. All right? Because the brand is connected, the bigness of the brand is connected to winning. That's where everything starts at. You know what I mean? And so Tremaine Jackson does that. That's what he does. But I just want to know why you are so high game against a bad PB secondary. Right? So what is Jay Cooper? Because I know you didn't see him at Minnesota Tech.
Okay. Let's break this. Let's break this down real quick. Your quarterback evaluation compared to my quarterback evaluation are 2 different things. Now, I like KJ Cooper because I like him in the team, right? Like, you gotta understand. Like Jacoby and Morgan. Need him to do what in sleep
that is not asked to do a lot hit up over there, run. That's what makes players really good is when the same thing with Jacoby, right? You get to see the right, and you see that when you saw Southern do stuff with their last few quarterbacks, and you're just like, damn, they look bad. But you're asking them to do things that they're not comfortable doing. So to me, they do not ask them to hit the fade, 1, 2, 3, hit the check down, hand the ball off, and if it's not there, run. If he stays healthy, they beat multiple teams in the SWAC if he just stays healthy. They beat Southern if he stays healthy. They don't win, but they was running after he went down. It was like goddamn the triple option. They just ran the ball every single time. It was like, no, you can't do anything. So again, I'm not saying KJ Cooper is Makai Hagan. I'm not saying KJ Cooper is KJ Black. I'm not saying, I like Agent Arms, and they don't ask him to do a lot. Now, I think year 2 they might expand because he's been in the system, but if they keep it nice and simple to what they did at the PV game, that's a recipe for success. It is. So it's not always that KJ Cooper has to be this elite talent. It's very well.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
No, I was just saying. I mean, so to me, you like the scheme more than you necessarily like the person.
But they go hand in hand because the scheme changed when they did not have KJ. They couldn't run it. So it doesn't. You got to give KJ some credit because when he went down, they couldn't run that scheme at all, and it was simple, basic stuff. Just, 1, 2, 3, hit the slant. 1, 2, 3, hit the fade. Like they couldn't even do that with their backup. So that lets you know that he's the only 2 quarterbacks they have on the team that is capable of doing what the team is asking them to do. So you have to give it credit because the coaching staff isn't good to revamp the scheme.
That goes down, and I'm about to say it makes sense what you're saying, but I attribute that to recruiting too. Because if your guy goes down and your backup can't play, that boils down to the talent that you acquired. You see what I'm saying? So when he does comfortable, they're gonna play to his strength.
They're gonna play to his strength. Yeah, and think about it. But they still had Jay. Think about it. They still had the newcomer of the year last year as a backup, and they couldn't get him to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I think they did Jay wrong because they kept pulling him and taking him in and putting. I was just like, yo, the kid is not a scrub. Like he's short, but goddamn, he's the newcomer of the year. You know what I'm saying? Last year was this same team, right? It's a different head coach, so. It's a little hit or miss. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a blame on the coaching because they couldn't maneuver around. But
I don't think the Lord is that guy. I think it's premature, right, to say that after just the one game against that's really the only point I make, right? You know what I mean? Is we haven't seen him over. Okay, we see that this is this guy. We see that this is high. This is his low right. This is where he is at even keeper, right? You know what I mean? And that's the only point that I make.
Now, back and forth. I remember when you was high on that kid from Houston that y'all played.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. First of all, let's be clear here, right? I used said that multiple times, even though your shit started out, but I was never high on Cooley, and Cooley only played a Cooley played a half, right? And he played a half injured in the first place, right? Right? You know what I'm saying?
So it showed up.
But again,
So it showed up.
but again, I never said that. I never said that. Cooley was gonna be
And the kid that was actually the best, honestly, was the kid that played the Grambling game.
understanding, right? And it he's like what you're saying with KJ Cooper.
Yeah.
He was the best. I remember me and KJ Mike was texting. KJ was like, "Where this kid been all year?" I said, "I'm asking the same question." I said, "This kid looks amazing." Like he looked comfortable. You know, I'm like, "Where this kid been?"
It's a manager. It goes back to that Cam Newton situation. You have guys who are game managers, and you have guys who are game breakers. So these two are the prime example. I think a lot of times, even with us, we put so much emphasis on the quarterback position. Not saying that it's not important, but we also I think about the factors surrounding it. Like, if I got a guy that I've been prepping, I know what he's going to do as an offensive coordinator, and this guy's getting the reps. I haven't had that since.
I can even understand.
He's vetted. He's ready to roll whoever he is. So I'm not invested as a receiver. I'm not so much invested in that. He's in most cases, people call me crazy and say I should be, but I think that boils down to the signal call. And I think that boils down to the and I can see comedy group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
now you're in that situation that now it's like, damn, now who's next? You know? So that's we know all too well what that looks like.
Like in the SWAC, it goes unless you have a okay. Let's go to Jackson, right? Like Jacobian wasn't the reason for their success. It was the running back in the offensive line, and then the defense was playing out of his mind, right? So to me, but you still need a signal caller unless it's a situation where you have a Willie Simmons and you have a Musa, and Musa is just the play calling and the athletes around him are so good that it makes it like they can put his quarterback in harm's way. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those two things. You either have to, you know what I'm saying? So in Kirk Collins was ass, but Daniel was making plays out of nothing, right? So it's one of those things where you need a great blend to where you're like, okay, I trust my play caller and I can trust the quarterback. Or hey, we got a dog at quarterback, and I going into the TV situation. I gotta see the quarterback. I think the defense is going to be fine in my most basic San Antonio Spurs defense I've ever played. Bro, see early in Bubba's career because that D line was stupid. That front seven used to be dumb. But then once those players learn talent. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he runs like a 3-3-5. Tremaine, his defense coordinator. So we'll see what
they're going to be doing, I think,
but you know, I just
and it's going to help the offense because I do think
Like I think, hold on, your phone, you might be in a bad patch. Try it again.
chill. FM out, FM out in Prairie View right now. Why this stuff ain't working?
Be so many damn people down there too.
Oh, yeah, nobody down there.
Shit. Let me ask you this.
Ever after Perry told his story about Prairie, I said I was
Story he
you
tell.
know if you go down there.
Let me know what story he said, because I got to hear this because
It was bad. I had to go on there and
what did you say?
there, so they invited us down. They get like when Southern goes there, so he got like an RV or whatever, and they went all down there, and he got credentials. And I think Lon called me afterwards and talked about it, but so Perry was he was like go to the media thing and you know da 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 da. He said so he went to the cop. He said the cop that was directing traffic didn't want to help him. He was asking, showing the email. He was being dismissive and say, hey, you gotta do it. So he had to park far from campus and then walk up to the thing. He got to the media booth. The credentials weren't there. The lady in the ticket booth was trying to call the person who was over to give this person. He walked across there. And that person said, you got to go back over there. He had to walk back to them. He said Scotty was the worst person. Threw it down at him from the top. I guess they were up on like a balcony or something, he said, and they tossed the credential down. Man, I said, boy, nigga. So but once you told me that story, I said, man,
Nah, man. Yeah, well, I will say those are two totally different things. Those are two. Now he's going to things.
I don't think they're. I don't think. Yeah, so that game is at
We got UTRG home. We got Texas Southern Blues at their home. But we got hold on, I'm looking at the schedule right now. We got UTRG. We got Northwestern State at home. We got Homecoming. We got Alabama State at home, and we got Pine Bluff at home, and we got Valley at home.
Yeah, it'll be the outer. That would be a game I would.
Good game. But that's
Somebody say Fair Classic.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there. I live in Dallas. I live in Carrollton. I
live in there.
No. I'm from there. I live in Ohio right now. When I stayed in Dallas, I was in Fair Classic. That's like a give me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, whatever. But I really want to come to campus because everybody KJ Black, we get some freaking me and Pet, he'd be like, Tell you, man, it's beautiful down there. Beautiful. I'm like, whatever.
Most beautiful campus is in the sweat.
Listen, man. All court can have some. Listen, it's in the middle of nowhere, but that grass be manicured. That JP manicured. They got like 37,000 acres.
I've been out on court. I've been out on all court. I've been out of all four when they like championship on campus. So that's crazy. It was electric. That's the best move we could have ever made. Damn, playing it someplace else. That's the best move you have. But yeah, hey, listen, man. If anybody have any, all hearts and minds clear, because I mean, it's a great conversation. We definitely gonna do this again next Monday. Different. Yeah. I'll tune into that. If you're in the Houston area, we're having a Labor Day class at Sneaker Gala. It's gonna be a good event that support things, put some proceeds to go to the universities so that we can do some of the things that we want to do and that we need to get done. It's gonna be a great weekend. We have the Battle of the Bands on that Friday night, the same time, but just at a different location on Texas. If you don't come to the gala, take your family to the Battle of the Bands. That'll be a great opportunity for the Greeks, for some of the young folks who want to get out and look nice. Come on to the Sneaker Gala. I'll be there. KJ Black is one of our honorees, which was my quarterback there, so I'd definitely be there anyway, even if I was not one of the cheers. But I think I would be remiss if it makes a difference for the things that we're trying to do and that we need to do for our programs, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. I think we've been doing a great job. We don't toot our own horn enough for people to see it, and that's why this space we're able to tell our own story versus people telling it forward. And we have learned, and people have called me about. But I appreciate everybody getting on here. It was great. Let's hop on again next Monday. Whatever topic you got, let's talk about it and go from there. Anything? Anybody want to say anything? No, good, bro. Okay. Well, man, that was good conversation, man. Hold on. I'm sorry, Lionel. I don't know why this thing keeps going out. Lionel, are you here? My bad. Hello?
Yeah, I ain't been. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I think he's in that. Y'all got the storm down there in Houston, huh?
Not in my area, but probably on the other side.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, I was just checking in with y'all. Like I said, hey, let's do it again. We're gonna be on 8 o'clock again next week, same time.
Appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Man, all the time. See y'all later.